Can I share an exciting, mind-bending truth that I think is really fun?
Yes.
In my relationship right now, we are so devoted to each other, so in love with each other, so secure in our relationship because we did that work as individuals.
Yeah.
That my husband, John, has 2 other partners, long distance, and I am dating 2 other people.
Yeah.
Functionally, securely, with spaciousness, with trust, with ease, with availability, and everyone is fully respectful of each dynamic that is in place and not interested in taking anything away from what already exists. Yeah. That's amazing.
I would like to share a truth, which is that my pussy pulsated when you shared that you had 2 additional people that you were dating. Because I love a woman who can own her satisfaction and her pleasure and her expansiveness that deeply. Yeah.
It's so good.
What are some keys that have allowed you to live that? And when you said like, look, I had to overcome unworthiness. I had to become secure inside myself. Can you walk us through what that process looked like? Because we could all use that. Monogamous, polyamorous, we could all use some fucking self-worth and secure attachment to self.
And even hearing, like, if this were me and I heard someone had 2, each partner had 2 other partners, I'd be like, what in the actual fuck are they doing? Like, that sounds insane. Who can manage that? Who can do that? And it would just sound so out of reach.
The extrovert in me is like, I'd be so excited to never be alone. Exactly. You just always have someone to fucking make out with.
Exactly. And cuddle with, and it's great. So to me, that experience was so worked up too.
Yeah.
It was not just, let's dive into that immediately. It was not, that's what my vision is and that's what I ultimately want. I had no idea. But I love my big heart. I call myself a lover girl. I'm just like, I love love. And it's not even as much about sex for me as it is about love and people and intimacy and romance and connection and being able to have that with more than one person because it's just so good. Like, imagine the beauty that you get to have in your romantic partnership and then just doing it again. And it's just really beautiful. So for me, the pathway towards that was essentially like a methodical pathway of let's stabilize where we are and let's move up to the next level with thought and care. It was certainly not that clear. It's clear in hindsight now where we've already really done that. And we were like, okay, if we go too fast and too far into something that we were not actually equipped to handle, that's where the chaos is going to happen. So what I tell people is like, have a slower process than you think you need to have. Because what can happen is you can get into a situation and then you have to evaluate dynamics. What is this person bringing to the space? What is the dynamic that's happening here? Is this available in my relationship? What are the emotions that are going to come up if they go on a date and I am at home? There might be a whole emotional process. You will actually definitely have to move through whatever stuff you have around your own worthiness. And then check in with your relationship. Can this relationship hold the bigness of my actual emotional experience of this? And I have fallen victim to the idea that I can just do more inner work to get okay with more things more quickly. And that is also so self-abandoning and not actually functional and optimal. And I've had situations where I really wanted it to work for my partner and this other person. And I would not be able to hold my boundaries firm because I really wanted it to happen and I didn't want to be the reason that they had to end because it wasn't a sustainable relationship. It wasn't something that fit in with our partnership. It was something that the other person really wanted more. Ultimately, they actually wanted to kick me out of the relationship, which is the one traumatic experience I've had with being in an open relationship, which she tried to basically steal my husband, which was not great. That can totally happen.
Cool.
Not cool.
Not cool in any relationship.
Which is cool. Which was a cool moment for us to be like, oh, that deep fear that people have of what if my partner leaves me for someone else, that can happen. And it can also strengthen a relationship if it's the right relationship. So you really learn, how do I and other people show up in conflict? Can we navigate that conflict where we grow closer and build even better protocols for how do we operate together before we step into something? So what we've done in our relationship is build protocol after agreement of, here's a hypothetical scenario or something that could actually happen. How do we both agree to show up in that situation? Like you said with your ex, you talked about making out's okay, energy's okay, physicality isn't okay. These are the things that you have to kind of walk through. What is actually okay? What is a firm boundary? And sometimes you can question, is this really a firm boundary, or did we create enough safety where we can revisit that one? Which I have found the more safety that we created, which is why we both have more than one relationship now, the more safety we created, the more that I could dissolve some of those boundaries and be like, oh, that was what we needed back then. But now that we've built enough connection and safety and trust with each other and within ourselves to govern ourselves properly, to show up in deep respect for our partner and the relationship that we do have, that one actually just dissolved. It's not as necessary. And I've had some moments where I'm like, I think I'm supposed to be upset about this, but I'm actually good because that is like a cool recognition of conditioning of, oh, this would normally upset me, like having a sleepover multiple days with your other partner. And I was like, actually, I'm good. But 3 years ago, that would have been a complete no-no. I wasn't ready for that, didn't have the emotional capacity, and didn't have the bond and the trust and the agreements and the protocols built in our relationship where we both proven to each other that we can follow them.